Musicians Talk Show is brought to you by Bandzoogle. Bandzoogle makes it easy to build a stunning website for your music in minutes. Choose from hundreds of mobile-friendly themes, then customize your design and content in a few clicks with Bandzoogle's easy visual editor. All the features you need for a professional website are already built in, including tools to sell your music and merch commission-free right on your website, mailing list tools to grow your fan list and send newsletters, integrations to pull in content from all your online services like Twitter, Instagram, and SoundCloud, and live support from their musician-friendly team 7 days a week. Bandzoogle plans start at just $8.29 a month and include your own free custom domain name. So go to bandzoogle.com to try it free for 30 days, and be sure to use the promo code TMTS to get 15% off your first year of your subscription. Okay, before we get started, Matt and I have lots of great ideas to improve the podcast, but we can't do it without you. So if you want to help us grow, click support the show at musicianstalkshow.com and consider signing up for our Patreon. We have tons of great perks and rewards for you, such as early guest reveals, a weekly live Q&A, and access to a monthly exclusive episode only for our patrons.
Sign up for our mailing list on our website to gain access to our private community on Discord. There you can communicate with Dallas and I directly about all things TMTS. You can also follow at Musicians Talk Show on Instagram to discover new episodes, vote in polls, and join the conversation.
Thanks for listening, and enjoy the show. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Musicians Talk Show podcast. This is episode 57. I'm one of your two co-hosts, Dallas Dwight.
And I'm Matt Tully. What's up?
Matty. How's it going?
It's going.
I got something cool to say that we talked a little bit about last time. We have a special offer going on Patreon, where if you sign up at any tier, you get a free t-shirt.
Wait a minute. Does that mean for $2 a month, you get a t-shirt?
If you sign up for our Patreon for $2 a month,
not only a t-shirt,
you get a t-shirt.
Not only a t-shirt, it's the baseball shirts that have 3/4 long sleeves. They're
this
nice,
shirt would be $30
cotton.
in a store.
Yeah.
I mean,
these are
for
the
real,
nice,
right?
Nice shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're super nice. They're simple, comfortable. I love them. We have some for our band too, so they're really awesome.
Yeah. And so these are tried and tested.
Tried and true. People love
By
them.
not me, but you,
They're the favorite. Well, I
think they
actually
look really
don't own
good.
one. I was gonna keep one, but
But
too
you've
many
seen them
people
and
wanted
touched them and put them on your friends and shit.
I was gonna keep one for myself, and too many people wanted them. I kept getting people's like, "Oh man, come
That's
on!
so
You
funny.
told me to tell me you don't have another one."
So-
Like, well, I do have one more.
Yeah, and then you had to sell it.
Yeah, and they took it. They took it right off the back. I was wearing it actually. They
So
took
if
it right
you
off-
sign up for $2 or more a month, you get a free t-shirt.
yeah. So it's
Dude,
gonna be
you're
real
paying
simple,
$2 for a t-shirt.
nice logo right in the center. If you look at our
Yeah.
Instagram, we have a picture of it.
And also, yeah, on our Instagram, and also they're in our store.
yes,
So if you just go to musicianstalkshow.com and then you'll see the store link, click there, or you can go to musicianstalkshow.com/store.
Yeah.
They're the only thing in the store, so you'll see it. Yeah, so $2 a month gets you a shirt, $5 a month gets you a shirt, 10, 25, whatever the other tiers are, you get a shirt, and then of course you get all the other benefits
add-ons
as well.
Yeah.
So and there's a lot of cool ones there. So we did want to remind you of that. That is going to be going on through April 30th.
perfect.
So this is a time-sensitive thing. If you want to sign up, if you want to help us keep the show going and get a little more money rolling in so we can move towards incorporating video into our podcast, which is something we really want to do.
Yep.
And, keep getting good guests, keep talking about good stuff, then this is a great way to help us out. We really appreciate you for that. So,
Yep.
I saw the dirt.
Yeah, let's talk.
Let's talk about the dirt.
So there's definitely some shock value in there for sure, right? Like
A little bit. Not as
like-
much as you led me to believe.
Okay, I thought they went for it. You know what I mean?
I'm
I
in the
thought they
middle of
really-
watching Game of Thrones.
Right.
So it's like, and I mean, I've seen it before, but I'm rewatching it.
that's blood. This is more sex and drugs. That's what I'm talking about. Like
Game of
how
Thrones doesn't really have drugs, but it definitely has sex.
Right. But
There wasn't, too much craziness. I mean, it was crazy, but it wasn't like,
how about the squirter in the first 5
that was the
minutes?
craziest thing, and that was the first thing they showed.
I don't think that's the craziest thing. but
Sex-wise, that was the craziest thing.
I thought the craziest thing were the heroin scenes, man, that they showed so much of it. Because
Really?
it's one thing you don't want to like popularize or make or put out in the public, I guess. But maybe it is better.
I know what you're
Maybe
saying,
it
but
is
I
better.
agree that I think that did anything but popularize it.
Yeah, hopefully,
like,
painted it in a
that
dark enough
didn't-
light where nobody
that
wants
painted
to
it in
try.
in a real light. I thought it was real.
All right, so imagine you're like a kid and you are a huge Motley Crue fan after watching this movie. You love their songs, you love all the things, and then you're like, well, he did heroin, and then like that's
But
what I don't want people.
What I
to-
get, and maybe this is coming from an adult brain, so I don't know.
Right,
but
that's the thing.
What I'm getting is I watch that and I say, okay, heroin was the bad part
Yeah,
of this.
hopefully
Like,
that's-
if I do all this other stuff and leave that out, I'll be good. You know?
Absolutely. I think anybody will tell you that's done heroin is it's not anything that attributed to why they were good at music or anything like that. That's just a part of who they are that led them to try crazy things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they were, that kind of person anyways, a risk taker,
I thought Pete Davidson as Tom Zutz was cool
Yeah, really cool.
because he's the one that signed GNR.
Right.
And I guess Motley Crue was the first band he signed. I didn't know that, assuming that's accurate.
Yeah, I don't know that either.
I don't know why you would lie
a-
about something so easily.
Exactly. And they break it down like for the one like thing that was like, oh, Doc never showed up here at this filthy,
I did see an article. I didn't read it or click on it, but I saw the article that said 10 lies. I think it was a video.
Yes,
10
I
lies
watched
the
it.
dirt told you.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Tell me what some of those are.
Well, I probably can't remember very good, and I'll probably mess it all up. But the stuff, it was little stuff, man. It was like it seemed like a lot of it was just to help make the movie more expedient, get through the story. You know what I mean? So it wasn't.
Yeah, you can't make a 10-hour movie.
Right, exactly. So they're just trying to speed things up so they jam two stories together into one, this, that. They actually have footage of like these interviews that they did, Motley Crue did, where Nikki Sixx actually grabs Tommy Lee's hair and
I saw that. That was in the
right. That was in the
credits,
okay, cool. So but they broke down some of those and that thing too. You know what I mean? Like what the differences were, and they just put them all together. Really, is what they did. And then to do that, to make it seem like it flows, you have to kind of cut other things out. Like otherwise, you're gonna like, why are we looking at this now? Just for one person to be in the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was a lot of that stuff.
When they introduced Razzle, I remember that story well, so I knew that was coming. But I totally forgot that Vince's daughter died.
Oh, that's one of the big things too in the thing about the lies or whatever, that they made it seem like in the movie that they weren't drunk, they were just like not paying attention, like they seemed very fine, you know what I mean?
Really?
But Vince,
I guess because I knew like from reading it that they were wasted and that's why it happened.
Well, but Vince was
I kind of got that
1.2 or something, like a 0.012 or something.
I kind of got the vibe that they were pretty wasted, but I'd have to rewatch it with that thinking cap on.
Yeah, well, they showed it in that thing too. It was like right in front of you, like they showed it in that clip. Well, I don't know how they got the rights to show the movie in their YouTube video.
They probably didn't.
You think they just got away with it because it was a short amount, like they just did little clips or something?
No, you wouldn't get away with anything.
Well, it's on there. Unless they monetize it or something. Maybe it's a big enough channel.
You can let the copyright owner monetize it, and then you don't have to take anything down.
Okay.
But it just means you can't monetize it.
Right. So you can't make any money from it.
So like if I put your Prep and Barium song on my video, CD Baby's gonna flag it and say, hey, can't do that. We're monetizing this. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then you get the money, and I can't monetize that video. So if that video gets 2 million views,
right,
I don't make anything. You get.
So okay,
at least some of it. I don't know
who gets the rest of it. I don't understand how that works.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting, but
that's very complex.
That's something we got to talk about today, anyways. Let's talk about the other thing first. Well, let's finish talking about the dirt.
Yeah, let's finish talking about the dirt
because we didn't get to the end of it yet.
But the Razzle thing, I didn't know he was English, dude. The whole time London. I was reading the dirt, I was like, okay, he's like an American LA dude. I had no idea he was like Cockney.
Yeah.
Like everything sounds like that. Like
I love the actor that played him. It was really good. Well done.
Yeah. He was a as soon as I saw that
lovable character.
As soon as I saw the party, and then Vince was like, "I'm going out, Raz, you coming?" I was like, "Oh no, here it is."
Yeah.
He's not. And then it was interesting to watch that scene from like, okay, well, this is the last time he sees him. This is the last time he sees him.
Right. You're like kind of watching it all, and even though it's not like the exact way it happened, it's like obviously actors and reenacted, but it's cool to like have a visual of it all.
There's got to be some parts, particularly for Vince Neil, that are just, I don't know that he could watch that movie. Like,
I know.
What I mean?
I thought that exact
between
same
Razzle
thing,
and then his daughter dying, which I totally forgot about.
Right.
That was the saddest part.
Yeah, that was really sad, and that was all the same time. Like he was out of the band, his daughter's dying.
Because doing solo stuff. As sad as Razzle is, that was still something they could have prevented.
It's all coming back to me.
You know what I mean?
That's another thing that they were. That's another thing they were talking about is that like it made it sound like Vince Neil in the movie was like just at his daughter's bedside the entire time. He was like doing a solo career. He was on the road a lot. He had a lot of stuff going on. So there's that. One of the things is like they just glazed over this fact that Vince Neil had a whole solo career on the side. That's not something
because it's not the Vince Neil movie.
Exactly,
it's the Motley Crue movie.
Exactly. So, but
they showed one scene of Tommy making beats on a DJ table.
Right.
But they didn't talk anything about him doing that.
Right.
Like it's because it's not the Tommy Lee movie.
But with the point being though is it misleads you when you don't have all the backstory because it just looked like Vince was by the side of his daughter the entire time.
Yeah.
But he was also on a solo career. But that's why because they can't dive into his solo career. So now they have to explain that.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense all of it, but that's what that thing basically does is it kind of clears up any misconceptions people might have after watching that movie, like what it was really like. You know what I mean? It's kind of fills in the gaps is what that video is good for. So I recommend people check it out and you should watch it.
Yeah, I thought
it was
so
worth
for
it.
sure.
It's
It was
worth
good.
it. Like
And I'm a
15-minute.
sucker for any like rock and roll movie.
Yeah.
I love Spinal Tap. I love The Dirt was good. I love The Rocker. Have you seen
Yeah.
The Rocker?
Yeah, with
Amazing, Rainn Wilson.
Yeah.
And then have you seen Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg?
That's one of my favorites.
Really
dude.
good one.
Classic. Also, I like the movie about
School of Rock
the
is
rock
also good.
journalist. The rock journalist that goes.
Oh, that's Almost Famous.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
Yep.
That's a really good one.
All of these rock related movies are really good.
Like probably the best, really.
But yeah, The Dirt was really cool. I liked seeing it kind of modernized.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say that. What did you think of, just real quick? I thought when I was watching it the first time, especially, I was like, man, they really nailed this putting a band together thing. Like when you have
Really?
rehearsals and you have somebody else in the band, and it's really awkward, and the way they dealt with it in real life, most likely, is probably pretty close to what they did in the
Yeah, I
movie.
thought so too. Like, hey man, you got to go.
Yeah, hey man, there ain't nothing for him. Like, you're just not the right fit. And then I love it that when he says, sorry man, it's just like nothing I've ever played before. And he goes, that's the point.
Yeah. My favorite part was when Mick Mars goes, fine, we'll just tune it down a whole step.
Right.
I was like, okay, that's hilarious.
Yeah, because that's how people
love
do,
it.
man.
I wasn't it took me a minute to get into the narration because Nikki narrates like the first, like,
and that's
let's say
partially from
10
the book.
minutes.
That's from the book.
Yeah. But I was just like, I'm not digging this at all. And then as more went on, I was like, okay, I kind of get how it's going. And,
Yeah, it's
and I
because
thought it was
each
okay.
chapter in the book was written by somebody else. It was like their
Yeah.
part of the story. So that's the
Right.
idea behind The Dirt, is it's all the secret stuff.
I loved how they kind of broke the fourth wall a little bit, like
Yeah.
where Tommy was like, here's how my day goes. And like, he
Right.
walks you
That
through
was
every
fun.
day.
Yeah, that was a fun segment. Like to
Yeah.
watch that thing where he just goes, wakes up, handcuffed to the bed again. It's
Wake
good.
up, remember nothing.
Yeah, it's so funny. So funny.
Dude, that's I mean, as I watch that though, I know it's glamorized and stuff,
it's
but
glorified
my
and
whole
glamorized.
my whole vibe watching that was like, one, disgusting, and two, like fucking sad.
Oh yeah,
Like
dude.
really, really sad to watch.
But it's
Like,
funny though, man. Like,
Jesus, dude,
I don't want to like give away too much of the movie or anything.
we
but just,
already
like
given
the-
away everything.
Tommy, like his love story, like him in and out of love with all the different girls. Like, I'm in love, Mick. He just sits down, like he just met this girl, and he
Yeah.
goes, Mick, I think I'm in love
Yeah.
for real this time.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
just
thought
so
Machine Gun
funny,
Kelly
man.
was really good.
He was great, great actor.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
You said that last time.
Yeah.
And see, I don't know a lot about Mick Mars to know if he did a good job, but he definitely played like the grumpy dude, like you were saying.
Yeah.
And how much older is he than them?
He's like 10 years older than them.
Really? So
Yeah.
he was like mid-20s
Yeah.
when they were teens.
Right. He had already been through a bunch of bands. Like he had already
Yeah.
kind of had his close, like almost famous type
I knew
thing.
he was older, but I didn't realize he was like that much older.
Right.
Like,
Yep.
that is weird.
And he had that back condition that made it seem like he was even older.
Yeah.
Like it made it seem
Getting
like
the band together was, yeah, you're right.
Crazy,
that was
right?
good. I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of other cool stuff in that movie though.
really cool.
When he slams the dude in the face with a bass,
Yeah.
I was like, first of all, that would have killed him.
Yeah,
Like,
dude, that would
he
have
would not
really
have
wrecked
survived
somebody.
that.
That would have been facial
He hit him right in the neck.
reconstruction.
He hit him right in the side of the neck, dude. That would have completely,
Especially because Nikki Sixx uses those big
those big like
Thunderbird.
Thunderbird,
bases,
yeah.
So, anyways, that was a really funny scene. And then the guy at the end of it,
The guy at the end, Motley Crue.
he was like,
That was
"Fuck
awesome.
yeah, dude."
I hope it went down something like that.
I'm sure it was something similar, but
Yeah.
that was one of the things they talked about in
Yeah.
the breakdown thing where they talked about lies. So
There was one part where Mick smiled, and I
Mhm.
can't remember what it was, but I remember it being super powerful because he just never did.
right.
I don't remember the parts.
Yeah.
That was useless to say.
Yeah.
But I need to watch it again. It's one of those multiple viewing.
Yeah.
kind of
there
things.
was a couple good ones, man, for sure. And
Have you
I've
seen
watched
the-
it twice now.
Have you seen the biopic on the Temptations? It's on VH1 Classic like every day.
No, I need to check that out. I think somebody's told me about that. Maybe you.
It was
have.
probably me.
Yeah. I need
It's
to check that
weird
out.
because
I
it's
like the Temptation.
it's always on VH1 Classic, dude.
Okay.
But
I don't
it's
have regular
exactly like
TV
this.
right
It's
now.
kind of a dramatic documentary kind of thing.
Mhm.
But definitely kind of film,
Yeah.
cinematized.
Yeah.
Is that a word? But it's weird because it's 2 parts. It's 2.5 hour parts. So
Right.
like I was watching it one time, it came on VH1 Classic, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch the whole thing. And so like in the middle of the movie, all these credits start rolling, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then like the credits just go away, and the movie goes on. And I was like, okay, this must be like
What other
this
movies
this
are
must
like
be a
that?
bonus scene.
Right, and then it
Fucking
keeps going.
hour and a half. I was like, okay, I guess there's 2 parts to this bitch.
That's awesome. I'm glad you told me, so now I don't have to be like
It was good.
shocked by it or something.
It
But
was
that's
good.
cool though.
I really, really like that one. It's cool. It really takes them from the beginning when they were just kids
Yeah.
to when they're in their
cool.
60s.
I'd love
or
to.
whatever.
I'd love to
Like,
watch that, dude.
and seeing the like rise and fall of David Ruffin, like all that stuff is really cool.
Nice. Well, I'm gonna check.
And
it out.
how they came up with My Girl.
Yeah,
I forget the
they have a whole breakdown of
Motown
how
dude.
that
I'm never
song.
gonna remember his name right off the top of my
That's
head.
definitely like one of the most famous songs, right?
Gordy. Barry Gordy,
Oh, you got me nothing. I got nothing.
Motown dude. I think
Okay,
that's
don't
right.
know.
Anyway, it's like him sitting down at the piano. He's like, check this out. I came up with this. And it's My Girl. And they're like, this is amazing.
Nice. Okay.
It's really cool to watch.
All right, cool. I'm going to check it out.
Okay. We've been watching a lot of those YouTube videos lately. The Avenged Sevenfold's been putting them out. I don't know if you guys have seen them. It's they're calling them breakdowns or mixed breakdowns or something like that. And dude, they're really, really fun to watch. Those are some of my favorite videos to watch. Any chance I get to dive into a professional or my favorite music, like track for track, Pro Tools session, whatever.
And they do, all those new bands do that now. All the new, like August Burns Red, you can go find a mixed breakdown, but I don't know if it's them.
A lot of times you can buy the packs. Like they'll sell their songs stem for stems. I've been thinking about doing that with the LA Maybe.
That's cool.
Because you can sell, you can package your stems, sell them to someone for like a remix pack.
Right.
And dude, someone can remix that shit like techno or
however you want to do
electronica or whatever. And if that one gets big, you get big.
Or if you're like, you're one of those people who make your music with, and I don't know how the royalties work on this, but if you make your music with samples and stuff like that, and you hear something you like from a band you like, whatever, can't you just mix that in and just pay them royalties? Sure. So I'm sure that, but anyways,
I'm not sure on the legalities.
Their breakdown, I don't know how that works, but the breakdown of all the videos, all the breakdown videos, I should say, are really cool, like that are coming out nowadays. And there's that,
the one you showed me, you talked about first and showed me was the Beast and the Harlot one.
Yes. Well, that's the brand new one, and there's 3 parts to it because it's such a huge and thick song. It's so much stuff going on.
So I love that song. The first time I played that song, I was in 8th grade, and we played it for like this talent show thing.
Yeah, that's why I sent it to you too, because I was like, Dallas, you'll like this.
And but I haven't basically really played it since then. But one of my students just now was like, I want to learn this song.
Oh, perfect.
So I'm diving back into it, and I'm literally sitting here with like a whole new light. Like this is genius. Dude, all the shit in this song is genius.
If you guys do that song at gig night, can I sing it?
Sure.
I will fucking sing that song.
It's gonna be on gig night.
That'll be fun.
I hope so.
All right, let's do it. Who's playing it? A guitar player,
the kid
drummer?
that played the middle. He's a guitar player.
Okay, guitar
player. Yeah, do you remember he played the middle by Jimmy?
David could play the drums if he's around.
That's a good point.
That'd be really fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. I was thinking about like if we do this gig night, who's gonna drum?
Like, you can have David sit in, dude. He'll come and play. He loves doing that stuff.
Yeah,
he loves doing that stuff though. But
I'm happy to play the rhythm guitar part for him too.
Cool. All right. Well, maybe we'll.
I don't know that he has the speed to nail a couple different parts of that solo.
Yeah.
But we have 3 months. So
on YouTube out there's a video of me in a basement playing Scream by Avenged Sevenfold. We warmed up. We not warmed up to it, and we also were like potentially going to do it live. But that was because David knew the song, and he's one of those people who can listen to it.
I remember you telling me that. Yeah. That was a while ago.
We did that at a bar, dude, and that's when I met him, and I was shocked that he just like pulled that out and like had all the little
tiny
you telling
me about this.
Details of the ride hits, like the ding 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 ding, like he was nailing it.
This was like when we started the podcast.
Pretty much right around that time. I just met David, and that's how this whole Prep and Barium thing got started back up, because I, hadn't really thought about it. I didn't have a drummer. I didn't have a situation. So
now you do.
Now we do. It's pretty interesting how it all came together.
So I watched. They have a bunch of them, not just Beast and the Harlot.
Right. They have really all of them. I've been watching them since they started. They did the stage first. That was a brand new single.
And different people. It probably started as a way to promote the album, which is smart.
Right.
But it's different band members are sitting in each session, and it's cool to see them themselves talk about like, oh yeah, I remember this part. Like,
but doesn't it tell you too that all of them are involved in the whole mix process? They all know, like even Johnny, the bassist, who kind of acts like a punk, so you think he doesn't know anything, but he goes in there and he can talk about his stuff.
Oh, for sure.
He actually did like a little walk in on the Beast and the Harlot ones, where he's just like, hey, show him that part real quick.
Yeah. And then in a different video, Johnny wasn't there, but they were joking. They soloed the bass and the bass started playing. He was like, oh, there's that part we replaced. Or like there was some sort of like ball busting thing on Johnny.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
It was something like, here's the keyboard part. And it was like the bass part. It was like, yeah, I played this on the, I don't remember. It was, anytime you make fun of your bandmates, it's fun.
Yeah. Especially they seem to pick on Johnny because he's the youngest, I think. And he was like,
really?
He came in latest too, like as far as before, like they started having.
They were all buddies in like high school, weren't they?
Right. Well, and then Johnny he wasn't even in high school. He's like younger or something like that. So anyways. So those breakdown videos are awesome because it gives you a look inside their mindset as how those songs go together.
And Matt seemed to be the one that was Matt Shadows, the singer, not you. Yeah. He seemed to be the one that was really on message. I noticed that about him. He kept being like, okay, now we're here to teach songwriting. Let's talk about like, he kept like bringing it back. Like, here's something you can take away to use in your own.
Exactly. He's smart and on top of that stuff. You could tell he's a big driver of how that band puts together music for sure.
Yeah.
Like, because he knows all the process.
Yeah.
And, Sin's the crazy awesome guitar player, and Zachy's a great songwriter as well. So they all have their like inputs, but Matt probably puts it all together at the end. I think that's my take from it.
I liked one thing they said that I just forgot. So go ahead
and then also like Sin is an awesome guitar. So he's so good at guitar that he can like add in layers and on layers and layers. And what they do is just make so much options that they can make the song go in any direction they want. It's very interesting to watch what they do. And Brooks, man, he's awesome to watch or talk about
He's a
music.
cool drummer.
You know, like, yeah, listen to what he's talking about, syncopated beats, and
I can't wait for part 3 where they go through all the drums.
yes, that's the next one. That's going to be the good one. So that's this Thursday. Every Thursday they're releasing them.
I love that they made they talked about the key change at the end because I totally forgot about the key
Yeah, the
change until I was
modulation,
teaching
dude.
the song,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh yeah, this does change.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that's a really cool thing, and now I get to hear why they did it. It was to
Yeah.
go back to the intro,
Yeah.
in such a
Get
clean
to
way.
that. Right.
That was
Cool. It
cool.
was a cool, really cool turnaround.
I like that. He said when they went from the regular chorus to the outro, it sounded nasty, but when he did it, I actually thought it didn't sound that bad.
yeah, I thought it was
But the
good.
key change is a cool idea. I like it.
Mhm. In Death Proof, man, that's a thing.
That song reminds me a lot of Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah,
When you think of
what
structure-
they say. I think they've said that in a previous interview, like an old one back.
It
when
has an
City of Evil
intro
came
that's
out.
not anything like any other part of the song.
Yeah.
It's got a big main riff. It's got, all these choruses and solos, and then a bridge drops in that's totally different.
Yep.
It's got, all this crazy stuff that
Returns
really
back to
reminds
the
you of
intro.
Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah, all these things. And the layers too. That Welcome to the Jungle's fully layered, and
Yeah, there's
like
a lot.
all that stuff. So yeah, those are fun. Check them out.
Good stuff. Yeah, for sure.
There's still more coming out. I don't know how many they're gonna do, but they're doing them like not even like just one album. They're doing all the albums, like probably just all their big songs.
I don't think they're going to do every single song.
No, but they'll do like all their big songs off each record, which is
Mhm.
cool. Fine by me. I'll do
Oh, I
it.
remember. They said when they were doing City of Evil, they didn't think it sounded that different from Waking the Fallen. I thought, that's really funny.
Yeah, well, they changed the direction in vocals. They know that, obviously. But
No, he said when they were, it was Matt that said when they were in the middle of City of Evil and they released it, they were like, okay, here we are.
Yeah.
And they didn't realize that this
It
is
was
fucking
something-
so different than
Right,
the last
right.
album. They didn't know. They were just like, here's the new album.
That's
And he said
funny.
it was the same thing when they went to Hail to the King or the stage or whatever the more recent ones were.
right.
He said it was the same thing. We didn't realize we'd kind of adapted and changed a little bit. We were
Yeah.
just kind of writing whatever.
Yeah, well, they're constantly evolving, and then they get done with their big piece, their big masterpiece that they're currently working on. They don't even realize where they're at. Yeah, I can see that. That's cool. That's why the stage is kind of like a weird one for people because they
I
didn't
don't really
even
know that album that
That one
much.
they
I need to
just-
listen to it more.
You should actually. I have it on vinyl too, just because I think it's just such a crazy creative trek. You know what I mean? I think
Did
it's
that come out 2018 or 17?
18. I think.
Must have been early.
I think it was. No, it was late 17. It was December. I think it was December, something like that. I don't know. Anyways, great album.
You guys should watch those breakdowns. And I would, if you like mixing or learning, really, I would say watch any mix breakdown you can watch. And even better, try to find stems for songs.
Yeah. Then you get some-
I have the pleasure of doing that for our cover band because we use stems from the songs themselves
Right.
when possible.
right.
So when we do The Weeknd, we use his synth pads and that kind of stuff. So we
actually can
we
go get
really sound like the thing, and we just play the parts we can play, and we use the tracks to help us supplement the parts that we can't play.
Exactly. Right.
So if you're gonna do that, I would rather use the actual sounds.
Mhm.
For
Right.
example, the beginning of Uptown Funk, the do.
Right.
Do, do,
You have the
do,
actual
So to
fucking-
have that actual
Yeah.
voice in there, people know immediately, oh shit,
Yeah,
this is the real
it's
thing.
this part that gives it away, and everybody knows what they're getting ready to hear. It's
But
good.
because we have 60 whatever songs, and I get to dig into all these multi-tracks
Yeah.
and break them apart and
Yeah.
see what's going on behind the scenes. When
Sure.
when the chorus is going, you're hearing the vocal and the beat and that's
how they layer
But
songs. how
where's the
they-
guitar? What's
Yeah.
it doing?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
All these things. Yeah.
Sometimes it's not doing what you thought it was.
Right. Right.
We're gonna segue here into kind of a more substantial segment.
Yeah.
Not segment,
Get
but-
into a meaty little talk here. Hopefully help people understand how you go about your releasing your creative art. Whatever you do, however you do it. But there's a pretty much set in stone way that you have to go about. There's steps you're going to take to get it out
There's
to
an
the
order
masses.
you're gonna take.
So we're going to help you out, hopefully, and shed light on that. Let's do it.
We're gonna try to walk you through
Yeah.
the creative, particular music specific, obviously process.
Yeah.
So that's going to involve pre-production.
Yep.
Production, post-production, and then we've added. Everyone knows those three. We've added pre-release.
Yeah.
Release and post-release.
Right.
So 6 different segments. Let's start with pre-production. What does that mean?
That would be writing your song. That's formulating the idea, getting lyrics together, getting all your musical parts together before you go into actually production, which would be starting to create the musical.
I think there's a lot of debate maybe on which one of those three is the most important, like which one can have the most impact. I think a lot of people say pre-production, and I think I would agree.
Yeah. I mean, you can demo songs with your phone nowadays, so that could be pre-production where you record your parts into a phone, even if they're humming like certain parts or something like that. You just know what the player needs to do, or you know what I mean? That could be all pre-production.
But pre-production, you as an indie artist, is probably the time where you don't have a time limit.
Right.
The only time you would have a time limit in pre-production is if you were with a major label that needed you to get an album out in 2019.
Right.
Then you're like, shit, we have 3 months of pre-production. But if
you're
on your own, you can take as much time as you need to layer 20 guitar parts, to rewrite that chorus till you get every word right, to add that third harmony that you've been thinking about. Like, this is the time to get all that shit down.
So time spent in the pre-production phase will save you money and time in the production and post-production phase.
Right.
So that's the key there.
So when we enter the production stage, we enter the studio. That's what that means.
Right.
If you have your own studio, that's awesome.
Right.
You can save a lot of money. That's what we do.
Yep.
But if you don't, you're going to be paying someone else. So that's when you're going to be very thankful you spent that extra time in pre-production.
Yeah,
you can't just sketch up a song and run in there. You can.
Right.
Every time I've done that, it's not come out the way I wanted to.
Right. And if you're going into a studio to pay, you're going to be paying hourly, however much time they spend. Whether or not it's an actually hourly setup, you are on some kind of time limit. Like, there's not an unlimited amount of time you're spending in somebody else's, studio and facility and their time. You know what I mean? So most of the time, if you're really lucky and somebody's taking some kind of interest in you and giving you a free setup or whatever, then you're doing great, whatever. The idea being, though, that you're not going to waste somebody else's time doing the same takes over and trying to figure out how your song goes. So all pre-production stuff is done. Move into production. Your idea is together. And maybe some ideas come about in production,
and
that
they
happens,
will, and that's cool. That's good. Let them come, but don't show up and be like, yeah, and then we're gonna go to some kind of bridge. I don't know. You got any ideas?
Exactly. So you have to be planned out.
Anybody in a studio is gonna just face palm at that point. Like, this guy's an idiot.
Exactly. So then let's go into post production. You want to talk about that a little bit, Dallas?
Post production is when you're done recording. You're not done spending money.
Right. There's still some processing to go.
You have to send it out to get mixed, and then you have to send it out to get mastered. Mixing is it's pretty simple. You just mix all the elements that you've recorded into a cohesive song.
Right. You're trying to
mastering is where you take all those songs you've mixed and mix them into kind of a cohesive album.
Right. So mixing would be the levels of each instrument in your song, and also effects would go in mixing, and lots of little touches and final touches that make a song sound complete, and
all the like reverb tail.
Sure.
Like when you say hey, and then you hear hey, the delay.
So that's all. That's post production, and then also mastering. Mastering is like the final EQ to make it a cohesive album. Like they EQ the overall.
And usually, a gross oversimplification is mastering makes it louder.
Right, it does. They do, because I think, don't they leave room? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Mixes are pretty quiet.
Yeah, they leave room in the mix, so that way when you get to mastering, you can use the mastering.
Right, you have that headroom to play around. Exactly. I do not claim to be a mastering engineer or a mastering expert at all.
That's hard to do, man. That stuff's like,
that is a very niche thing. Yeah. I will say one thing that pretty much everyone recommends is have a different mastering engineer master.
They do say that,
as opposed to your mixing engineer.
Yeah.
Now, I've broken that rule. We all have.
Yeah.
I'm breaking that rule right now.
Doing that
maybe Machine's doing our mixing and mastering.
Yeah.
But if you have the budget and if you have the time, they recommend getting a separate mastering engineer to do it.
Yeah.
Mostly because of fresh set of ears. Usually a mastering engineer does just mastering, so they're very, very good at that job.
Right. So that's a good point.
At the end of the day, you just want to make sure you're happy with what you have, though. One thing I wish I had known earlier, if you're young, I mean, I started going into studios when I was 15, 16 and stuff, and I was young and I felt like I didn't know enough to speak up. If you feel like something's not the way you want it, speak up.
Yeah.
Because I let so much shit slide that I now really regret.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Just because I thought, well, I'm 15. These guys know what they're doing.
Right.
They did not know what they were doing.
Yeah.
And the problem is I didn't either. But
you remember that you are the boss when you are recording an album with somebody.
You're the boss when you're paying the money.
Exactly.
That's when you're the boss.
So the idea being that you can tell them what is wrong or what needs to be fixed. You know what I mean? They can have to take that information critically, and they have to do it. They have
even
to
if you don't necessarily know.
Right.
For example, I hooked up my really nice Mesa Boogie dual rec that I had at Charleston Sound,
right?
An exquisite recording studio in Charleston, and it sounded like shit. Right. It just sounded terrible.
Okay.
And I thought, okay, well, this is why we have a mixing process. This is going to sound awesome in the end. It just doesn't sound good right now.
Right.
It sounds exactly like that on the album. Exactly like that.
So you weren't happy with the mix, or you weren't happy with the guitar.
I'll play those tones for you after this. Sure. If anyone wants to hear it, it's Osara's first album. I think it's on. I think it's probably on Apple Music or whatever.
Oh, really? Cool.
It's the one with the black cover with the black O.
Yeah, and you'd think a good producer would like step out there and be like, all right, we can probably do better than that, and just get you to at least look at your amp. You know what I mean? Like that's because if you thought
No idea.
if you were thinking it was gonna be fixed,
I was thinking this guy was a pro and he was going to be able to be like, all right, we'll dial this shit right in.
Yeah.
And I even asked him, I was like, hey man, feel free to like mess with my amp. Like I'm happy with, I just wanted to sound good. Like, dial in a tone, go ahead, like do your thing. He was like, I think it sounds good, and moved on. And then later on in the recording process, we realized this guy didn't even play an instrument.
Wow.
Like, it's
I remember you telling me that story. Like, oh yeah, I don't really play instruments.
I played saxophone in 6th grade. It was something like that.
Oh,
It was just like,
man.
oh, dude.
All right, so moving on to your release. We have pre-release, release, and post-release.
Pre-release, we have a really handy list courtesy of Ari Hurston.
Yes.
You guys need to read his book.
Huge advocate of the book.
It's the new music business.
What is it?
I gotta
New
be
Music
reminded of the
Business
title.
Today? What is it? Not even a how-to, is it?
Dude, hold on. I should know this.
Why is it escaping?
How to make it in the new music
How to
business.
make it is.
I knew the
Okay.
keyword is new, and that's my favorite part about this book is that it talks about the new music business. A lot of music business books you'll buy or talk about, like, you'll realize the copyright is like 2001, and you're like, oh, that's not going to work.
I can't believe I just drew a blank on that book like that.
Yeah, you know what's
We were
funny?
Just talking about it.
I
dude.
can
It's
see
ridiculous.
I can always see the cover in my mind's eye.
with the
And I'm gonna post
turntable and the horn.
Yep, I'm
Yeah.
going to post that this week
All
on the
right,
Instagram,
good call,
the cover
good
of it.
call.
Recommend everyone go read it. But
So yeah, the list, 26 things to do before releasing your album. We're going to kind of
26
blaze through them
things
real quick and
to do.
talk about what we've done, what we haven't done, what we should probably be
yeah,
better
this is
at.
going to be good because we're just going to kind of talk to each other about like, hey, did you do that?
Both of us are in the process right now of releasing singles and getting ready
Yeah,
to release
and
an
something
EP
I was
and
gonna-
an album.
Yeah, something I was going to say is you can and will be in multiple stages of pre, post, any of these release production things. You'll be in multiple stages at once. For example, we have 4 songs. One of them we're in post release. One of them we're in production.
Right.
And actually 3 of them were in production and post production at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. It gets weird. We just released Strife on Friday, but we're literally in the middle of getting Mixies back for Love Lies, and we're, working on that song while
And
Strife is
you're
being
post
released.
release. You're
And
in
we've-
release for Strife and post
And we've
release for
had
Prep and
we've
Band.
had Strife for a while. We've been just waiting for the right time to release it because we're gonna have the video follow up a week later. So it's kind of like just timing it all right. So we've had that song done, been listening to it, and everybody's been digging it. And then it's finally released out now, and then we get more like feedback. It's fun.
So don't be stressed or panicked if
No, it's part of the process.
you're in multiple stages at once.
Part of the process.
Number 1 of these 26 things, market research. What does that mean to you, Matt?
So that means looking into who you're going to be selling your audience, and how you're gonna basically find your audience is right. That's
Right.
finding
So like,
your
hey,
audience.
for you, I write metal.
right.
That's what you say.
Right.
I'm speaking for you.
So I'm
So
looking
who's going to
for-
buy my shit?
Right. I'm looking for fans,
How do I find them,
fans
you
of
know?
certain music, fans of certain clothing style, anything like that.
Right.
Like try and picture your audience in
And-
your head and find out how you're going to get your music in front of them.
One thing,
You're
and I
never
can't-
going to make it if you don't put your music in front of those people.
Yeah,
The people that
100%.
are going to
You're trying to
it.
find your fans.
There are a lot of people that out there that are going to like your music, guaranteed. Like always remember that. If you were good and you put time and effort into it and you work hard, people are going to like your music. You need to get it out in front of them.
Right.
That's interesting. Like,
Especially
think that
nowadays.
way. Yeah.
But market research can be taken so far.
Yeah.
You have, what music do they listen to? That's the one question you're going to think of. But what do they wear? What do they eat? Where do they hang out?
right.
What books do they read?
Right.
What podcasts do they listen to? Like, those are all questions you need to think about.
Pages on Facebook, all kinds of things. Pages. Yeah.
Where is your audience?
Yep.
And it's helpful if you are your own audience because you kind of know where you are.
Sure.
So you can go find your own
Think
people.
about that
right?
for sure.
Like, where do
Exactly.
you hang out?
Exactly.
Matt? Stuff like that.
Exactly.
Register your publishing.
Yep.
Not an expert on this one.
So this through CD Baby, which is who I released through and you released through, I think they cover a lot of that stuff. Really, like all wrapped up in the.
Yeah. So they're gonna do they're gonna handle your publishing, but actually it's kind of ties in with another number later on down. So we're gonna keep
So we're
moving.
gonna keep moving.
Register every song with a POR.
All right. So
PRO.
say we don't have CD Baby though. Real quick on number 2, let's just
Yeah.
talk. Say you don't have that. You're gonna reach out through a publishing agent
or company, and that's gonna be
agency,
expensive.
right? And that's gonna be expensive way to do
We
it.
recommend getting a distribution company.
Definitely,
which
that's
is
the new
number,
way to go.
8.
It seems like so.
So we're gonna get to that in a second.
Yep.
Register every song with a PRO. I said POR a minute ago. That's a
Right.
performance rights organization.
Right.
We have 3 in the U.S. We have BMI, ASCAP, and CSAC. CSAC is invite only, so right off the bat, that's probably out.
Right.
So you got BMI and ASCAP.
Right. Dallas, who'd you go with?
Just pick one. I'm BMI.
I'm ASCAP.
Yay.
No, it's good actually because now we know that we can talk about the differences.
Yeah,
if
no,
there
you're
are
right.
any.
They're
You know what I
pretty
mean?
much the same. One thing I will say is ASCAP alone assigns ISWC numbers,
Mhm.
which if you're doing licensing stuff, people will ask for that. That's different than ISRC. Your publishing company is going to do that. But your ISWC, now ASCAP does it for BMI, but they're the ones that actually assign the numbers. I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting.
A PRO company is in charge of getting you your royalties. They're going to track when and where your song's being played. One thing you need to do that a lot of people don't do is you need to register your set lists. Anytime you play a song live, you're owed a royalty for that song being played live in that place.
Yep. That's so crazy.
So you register your set list and you get that money. Done.
Yeah.
Easy. Just got to make sure you do it with every show.
Yep.
Register with Sound Exchange. Sound Exchange is interesting, and I've never had a firm grasp on it. They do mechanical royalties.
Right.
I'm reading their website. We're the premier digital performance rights organization in the world. So there you go.
With a mission to support, protect, and propel the music industry forward.
So they do digital royalties, which are fees that service providers like Pandora, SiriusXM, webcasters, they're required by law to pay. So when people listen to your song on Pandora or Sirius plays it or whatever, you got to get paid for that. But how do they do that? Because ASCAP and BMI are going to pay you when you're played on terrestrial radio,
right? Which
is like 93.5 or whatever.
Right.
But what about when I come across your song on Pandora?
Right.
How do you get paid? Well, you got to have your shit on Sound Exchange.
Spotify, Spotify might be covered through
Spotify's covered through your distributor.
Your PRO.
It's digital radio is the key.
Right.
Not streaming or anything.
Gotcha.
Get on allmusic.com and Discogs. Discogs, this is really good because it lets people search your shit. For example, if somebody goes on AllMusic and searches Machine,
right?
I love Machine. What has he done?
They're gonna find.
Because I did that when we were looking at it. They're gonna find our band.
Right. It's all tied in, and it's got a list of all the bands he's worked with, all his credits, everything.
And if someone searches me, they'll see the things I've been a part of.
Exactly.
Discogs is easy. You just go and you put it in the info and you hit submit. Allmusic.com is not easy. Yeah, they are owned by TiVo.
Okay.
And you have to. It said mail. You literally mail them like some shit. But then there was an email link that said you could also email it. So I emailed months ago, never heard anything back. So I have no idea if
maybe they want people to mail in, but that's crazy.
While you talk about it, let's see if we are.
Yeah. So you're saying Discogs is the way to go. I get their emails. Their monthly newsletters are great. Like they're more than just, as far as like connecting you, they actually are like really supportive in the music process. Like as far as keeping you updated on stuff. I get their emails. There's like all kinds of stuff. How to distribute your music, all kinds of ways. I mean, all kinds of things that you're just pulling up machines.
AllMusic is just not.
AllMusic.
It's great to use, but it's terrible to get on.
Yeah. Wow.
But you want your stuff to be there. Okay, register the copyrights. That's what the government.
Yeah, we're on number 6, by the way. We got to get through these.
You're going to
register the copyrights.
Yeah. I got an email from the the government the other day that was like, hey, question on your copyrights. So
really?
I was like, okay, cool. So I had to work that out.
Well,
so make sure you do it properly
and you know it's done.
That's pretty easy, and it's going to take about $30. I recommend doing it as a group because if you do it song by song, it costs $30 every time.
Oh yeah,
or whatever the money is.
Right.
Register for YouTube and SoundCloud revenue. That's literally just clicking a checkbox in CD Baby.
Yeah.
And TuneCore as well, which I've had, so I can speak for TuneCore. Can't speak for the others.
When you select the YouTube TV or YouTube Music or whatever that is on CD Baby thing. It actually makes a page on YouTube Music and they promote your music or whatever. And I've noticed, I didn't even know that at first. And I went back and I saw that all those views on there. I was like, oh shit, there people saw this too. When they type in our name, they find that. So that's interesting.
Yeah. It's interesting that this is a checkbox and it doesn't happen automatically. Because if you don't check it, they're not going to go comb YouTube for people playing your song, that kind of stuff. So, but if you do check it, you're good.
Right.
So like we were saying earlier, if I use your song, I'm going to get a flag that says copyright infringement. And when I click more info, it's going to say monetized by CD Baby.
Right.
On behalf of, and then Prep and Barry.
Right. Have you gotten any checks back yet? Because it's like a $25. I set mine to a $25 cap. So that one, I want to get the first $25 from digital distribution, which I'm sure is going to take a while.
Yeah, we're not going to get it.
I was just going to say, I wondered if you had gotten anything from that or learned.
No, we're a brand new band with no name.
Of course, I know. I totally expect that, but I just wondered.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
I don't think so.
When that will happen.
One thing that I thought was interesting is I went back and uploaded my solo album, The Catalyst, to YouTube. I made all the videos and uploaded them to YouTube, and every single one of them was flagged for copyright. And I was like, wait, what? And I clicked on it, and it was like monetized by CD Baby on behalf of Dallas Dwight. And I was like, oh, good. So I'm getting paid for this thing.
Right.
That's actually a really beautiful workaround. Because I have not near 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, so I can't monetize them at all.
Right.
So CD Baby's going to do it for me.
That is interesting.
That's super nice. So I get paid for anyone playing those YouTube videos, even though I can't monetize my YouTube videos.
There's a little message that you get from CD Baby that says, hey, don't be surprised if you get your video flagged or, whatever, when you upload stuff, because we're going to monetize it. And that's okay. You're getting the money anyways.
Yeah. It's perfect. Yeah. So don't worry about that. Pick your distribution company. We use and recommend CD Baby here at the Musicians Talk Show podcast.
Yep. We had them on.
I've had TuneCore before.
Yeah.
We've used Amuse, which is a free one. So if you're looking for a free one, check out Amuse. But you get what you pay for. And we pay for CD Baby, and we love CD Baby. And we had Kevin Bruner on. He's the host of their podcast.
Uh-huh.
We had him on the show to talk about why CD Baby is the best choice and what they do.
Exactly. Yep.
So make sure you go back. And actually,
That's a great episode.
While Matt bullshits, I'll tell you what episode that is.
Well, yeah, that was a really good episode to talk about how you release your music. So if you want more on this little concept, we're just kind of giving you a quick run through again, summary of the process as it goes. So that way, if you're just now getting started making music or whatever, and trying to understand how you get from song to released and you finished and released,
Right.
Songwriting is the beginning stage of it. Everybody knows that. That's the natural process. Then everything else seems kind of, you have to learn it.
Yep. Kevin is episode 43.
Perfect.
For those of us that want to go back and listen to that.
Yeah,
I myself need to.
Yep.
Get a licensing company. That's not as easy as it sounds, but you need to do some researching on music licensing yourself. That is an entire industry.
Yeah.
But basically, the licensing is in charge of getting your music. A licensing company would be in charge of getting your song in a movie,
right,
in a YouTube video, in a app, in a game,
right,
anything like that. So they're going to be in charge of doing that. And it's a great way to get exposure, but it's tough. It only happens to the biggest artists for a reason. They're expensive,
right?
And there's other ways to work around it, but you got to do your research,
right?
Create the folder of assets. This is something that this is obviously Ari's notes, but this is something that he, I guess, came up with that I did, and it was so helpful. Basically, you create one folder that has the masters of your album or your single. So you have the MP3, the wave, all that stuff. You have the album art, you have the lyrics, you have all the stuff related to this, and that way, because you're gonna have to upload this shit to like so many different sites, dude.
Right. And you want
so you have it all in one folder.
Yeah,
it's so nice,
and everything is easy to find. All that.
Get new photos.
Yep.
Number 11. When you have a new release, Ari and we recommend you kind of rebrand yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for you and me, it's our first release, so we're not rebranding; we're just branding.
Right.
So you're going to schedule a photo shoot with a professional photographer.
Right. Very important. Very important. If you've been using a picture you guys took for your social media or whatever to begin with, that's fine. But when you start releasing music, you should really have a professional photo that you use.
At least one. You should have more.
Yeah, at least one.
We started with one in the LA maybe because we had to get something on the
on the poster. Yeah, exactly.
So we started with one, and I took that with my phone. But I actually went to school for like editing and shit.
Yeah, that looked great. That was awesome. And but it is a good idea to get an outside view of somebody not.
And you saw how hard that was.
Yeah,
it was really hard. I was running back and forth like, we got to do it again. We got to do it again. If you have someone there that can click it and knows what they're doing, it's way better.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at me going to photography school and then saying click it.
Yeah, well, no, it's just you can't do everything yourself is ultimately what it comes down to. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
number 12, write a new bio. This is the same thing. Number 13, write a new press release.
We have to do the bio and a press release, really.
Bio's great, but writing a new one for each release is interesting. Kind of updating it, keeping it fresh. That way, you don't go see a band just release something and their bio is clearly like 5 years old with like different band members in it and shit.
No, it stays updated.
Keep it updated. Yeah. Write a new press release. This is for the release. Mm-hmm. You want to tell people about the release. This is for that. Make a list of blogs.
Who do you send your press release to? For
press? Anyone.
Anybody who's got an online blog. Anybody who's got anyone. Your music.
We send our press release to all the newspapers, radio stations, TV stations. And the thing with press releases, we got like 1 or 2 replies back, and but way more than that actually posted it.
Right.
Like when you send a press release, a lot of times you won't get a reply, but they will post it.
So how many did you say?
We had a bunch, dude. When I Googled our event, fucking tons of links came up. Tons of links. LA maybe at Sylvia Theaters for the New Year's gig. Rock Hill Herald, Charlotte papers, so
that's
everywhere.
That's important to note when you have a show coming up that you want to definitely do a press release, especially if it's some kind of CD release, like some kind of big.
Only the big shows, really, or a tour, or a new song.
This was a New Year's Eve party.
You don't want to hound people with like, hey, we're playing Hattie's, like, man, don't. I wouldn't burn it on that because press is gonna get tired of it.
Even for but would you say that even for the shows that every regular show, whatever people pass on it, they'll still like maybe the Creative Loafing magazine has a segment where they are posting all the shows this month, and they got your press release that you're playing the show.
So I would say maybe if they do that, target them specifically.
Right.
That's what I would say.
Good point.
But you'd have to know that. So you'd have to be on top of your
Well,
shit.
that's stuff that I look at too as, a music lover in Charlotte.
right.
I look for the little zines that are out in the newspaper.
And that's
booth.
perfect because they're the ones that are really likely to post you.
Exactly.
Because they're small.
Exactly.
You know?
And the New Sound, our friends from Mad Park Designs, they also do New Sound, and they're one of those same ones too. And they're becoming a physical copy thing too now. So that's really
awesome.
good to see that they're going to be a physical copy.
Make a list of blogs to contact. Number 14. This takes some research. So you're going to have to take some time and get this done, you know? One thing to say, target the blogs. A country blog who writes about country music is not going to write about my rock band. They're
Right.
not. And now I look like a douche who just mass sent it out.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
I didn't pay enough attention,
Yeah.
you know? So just be careful about that.
Yep.
Number 15, create the videos. So if you have, I think something we're seeing more and more is really every song has to have at least a video with it, you know?
Well, and that's the cool thing about the CD Baby release too, is that they automatically, if you go through YouTube Music, you automatically have something on YouTube. So that if you
But I'm
search
talking
that
video.
I know I totally know what you're saying, but I'm saying that I like that at least it covers the getting on YouTube as a platform for you. But then I think there's an extra element to having an actual video that people can watch and they can see you, see your band, see what represents you, what you represent, all more of like a visual basically, and give them an idea of what you are. And lyric videos are cool too.
Lyric videos are a great way to
People
knock out a video without
lyrics.
hiring a videographer if you know how to do it yourself.
Totally.
Which is something we're going to talk about in a minute.
Totally.
Create a Bandcamp page. This is obviously not something you do with every release, but you should put every release on Bandcamp. So the first time, create a Bandcamp page. It's a good way to sell your music, and people like looking at Bandcamp links. Create or rebrand your website. Got to have one of those. Create or rebrand your socials, number 17 and 18. So you want to make sure everything's really cohesive. We've seen this already with the new blog, the new videos, the new photos, the new website, the new socials. It all needs to look like a new, fresh, cohesive thing.
Right, exactly. Consistent,
your Twitter can't have your old picture.
Right.
And your website has your new one.
Exactly.
And then your Facebook has your old members listed and the old picture. Like, don't do that.
You got to remember that people could probably, go cross social media sites and see it, and they don't want to see like it doesn't want to look amateur where you're
they also want to
on
know
this one and new pictures on this one.
If every one of your profile pictures is your PB logo with the rose,
right.
Now I know immediately, like, oh, this is the same guy.
Exactly. It's something to attach to. Like they see that, they know.
Right.
They got it.
Get a mailing list. This is something you should have been doing since episode 19, I think. This is number 19. That's funny.
It's really important.
With Dave Cool.
An email list for sure.
An email list, it kind of ties back to number one, the market research. This is it's supposed to be a place where your people are.
Right.
So you can reach out and say, hey, my crew,
right.
Here's the new album. And immediately you have a spike in sales because you have a bunch of people that have already signed up. They already know who you are. They already like you.
Right.
They want your stuff. You're just telling them where to get it when it's out. So that you're going to see spikes in sales and stuff if you
tell them about new videos, new songs, anything on new shows, all that stuff. And you can target them too because in my email list, it has actually what city they're in because you'll get people to sign up for your email list from different cities. Well, if you have a show in Charlotte, you might not want to target everybody and have all your friends in California get that email that you're having a show in Charlotte. So you can actually target them that way through, I just do it through Reverb Nation because they have a good list.
You can do that through Facebook too, I think.
Yeah.
It's called geo-targeting.
Okay, there you go. So that's very cool to do.
Number 20, submit to Pandora. Honestly, I got to contact CD Baby about this one because CD Baby has a little box that says, yeah, we'll send your stuff to Pandora, and Pandora does not have our stuff.
Huh.
So I got to...
I have to look into that. I don't listen to Pandora myself so much, so I need to find out if it's on there.
You want to be on that,
I would assume
for sure.
It is. Yeah,
because when someone puts in, you can put like, hey, we sound like Guns N' Roses or Greta Van Fleet. And then when someone puts on
Guns N' Roses
Radio, we have a chance to pop up. So that's good stuff. That's organic growth. Number 21, create new merch. This totally falls in with the seamless stuff. I would say make it look kind of like your look. If you have a look for this release,
and you can each new song, each new whatever, you have another opportunity to change like artwork, do a new piece of artwork or whatever for that song, for that anything. You know what I mean? Like just keep it fresh and updated with what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know?
Get creative. Merch is a good way to make money.
Right.
Number 22, have a Dropbox link for each song. This is to send to other people, like those blogs we were talking about in number 14,
right?
Or any of the press companies, anything like that. You want people to be able to hear your music without having to like, oh, look us up on Apple Music. No, make it give them the info.
Yeah, Dropbox is easy and it's free for a certain amount of storage.
It's free for everything you would need.
Right. And I mean, if you're using it a lot, if you really find you like it, it's pretty cheap to just get a membership and you get a terabyte of storage. And that's really helpful.
So I got on Dropbox really early.
Yeah.
And like way before anyone else had it. So every time people were signing up, I would say, hey, just sign up through my link. And they would give me 500 meg every time.
Right.
Dude, I have like 12 gig on there just like by myself.
Yeah.
Like,
and now you pay and you get the
now
terabyte.
I have the terabyte. Yeah,
it's worth it.
It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, because we share files all the time, and that's a really quick way to share big files.
Yeah, we have most of our talk show stuff on Dropbox.
Yep.
Number 23, SoundCloud profile. That's pretty self-explanatory. Make one, put your music up there, make it easy to find. SoundCloud's more social than other places.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, it needs to look like your rebranded website and socials. Number 24, smart URL links. This is really helpful because you don't want to send someone to lamaybe.com/new song /album /1234566x96 fuck. You know, none of that.
If
you want to send them to lamaybe.com/peace of mind.
Yeah.
That's what I made for us.
Exactly.
That's a smart URL link.
That's perfect.
Or I can send you to lamaybe.com/sign up.
Or just lamaybe.com period, and they'll be able to find the song. You know, think about how easy that is.
But you need your smart URL links because you want to send it to people where they can go right there immediately.
Right.
And we do that with the talk show like crazy.
Yeah.
We've gotten real creative with it. If you go to musicianstalkshow.com/ and then any social thing that we're on, it takes you right there.
Nice.
So you don't have to remember Facebook. Was it the Musicians Talk Show? Was it TMTS? What was it? You just go to musicianstalkshow.com/Twitter, musicianstalkshow.com/Instagram, musicianstalkshow.com/Facebook.
Perfect.
Anywhere and we're there.
Perfect.
iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, any of them. We're all there.
That's really
so
good.
It'll take you wherever you need to go.
Yeah, I like seeing our stuff on Spotify. That's really cool to have all our episodes up there. And then plus we have some of the music that we released on there as well. So it's from the 24-hour talk show.
Right.
From 24-hour EP, I said 24-hour talk show.
24-hour talk show. Ooh, that
would be more taxing. That would be more taxing than a 24-hour.
We'd have to have a
EP.
bunch of guests.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Okay, so number 25, we're wrapping up here with the pre-release. Keep in mind, we haven't even released the album yet, or the music yet.
Right, that was just the pre-release steps.
It's register a trademark. Okay, So this is something I've never done, so I'm going to do some searching here while we talk about it. But a trademark is, I don't even know, but you to register it, you go to uspto.gov. That's
something that it's like your logo or your name that you've put in a specific font.
Right. So you can't copyright that.
Right.
But you trademark. It's the same thing, basically. Right. So you just want to make sure that it
corresponds back to you, right?
And this is going to be more expensive than a copyright, but not as expensive as a patent. Yeah. Patents are like $30,000.
Yeah. So this is like 30.
This is dealing with the legal stuff. Yeah, it says between 100 and 200 maybe.
Okay.
That's state. Okay. Federal's a little more. I would recommend doing your own research on this. Don't listen to anything I'm saying right now.
It's not something we've figured out yet.
You will need to go to the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. So that's uspto.gov.
Right.
I would really recommend sticking with anything .gov.
Right.
For anything like copyright stuff. Because you're going to see, like when I searched it, the first thing that came up was LegalZoom. And I'm sure they do good work.
Right.
But you want to go straight to the source, in my experience.
Yeah. Cool.
Last one, number 26, form a corporate entity. That's your LLC most of the time.
Right.
This is just good to protect you and good to get your band paid as your band. Right. So when the LA Maybe rolls up, you don't write the check to Dallas, you write the check to the LA Maybe.
Right. And
that's just good,
the LA Maybe
protection. And then kind of what spins off of that is you need to have an official business bank account through that LLC, and that's kind of your band bank account.
Right.
Yep. That's 26 pre-release things. And anything you guys hear in any of these pre-post, whatever things that we're talking about, feel free to hit us up.
Yeah, if you guys like it, what you're hearing, and listen, check out that book. And there's an audio book of it too, man. We talk about it nonstop. How to make it as a modern day musician. What is it? I say it when we're bringing it up one more time, Dallas. Did you have it?
How to make it a
new music business. That's what it is, right? And that's Ari Hurstan, and it's a killer book. And you can get it on iTunes and listen to it like as an audio book too.
It's a must read. Honestly. If you want to be a musician, you have to read this book. Don't be.
If you're trying to make money, if you're getting into the portion of making music, like obviously a lot of people make music in their bedroom for fun and don't care about making money with it. If you're taking that step to make money with your music and understanding how to grow as an artist, that's the book right there. It goes from start to finish on everything you need to know. So that's where we just got those 26 steps to do before releasing your album.
Pre-release. These are all things you need to have done before you release it. Exactly. Don't think you're going to send the press release after it's released.
Right.
Get it done.
So here's the release now.
So then you release it. That's a day. Yeah. So that's a big day. Post about it, share it, do your thing. Send it to your email list. Tell everyone where it is.
You set it all up to be released on the day. Anything, all your social medias, whatever, you can set them all up to have ready to be ready, like to post the information, the content. Set it all up and it's ready. Then the day of, you can promote the shit out of it and get it out there.
Yep.
Tell all your friends. I just saw recently it was either an article or a podcast or something, but somebody said that you have to literally. Oh, it was an article from CD Baby too, I think, and it was like the guy was saying that you have to text like all your friends, tell them to tell their friends, like personally, not just post it on social media and expect it to get to everybody, because it doesn't, as we found out, unless you pay for promotion. You're not getting in front of all your friends and followers on any of your social medias. They hold that back. They throttle it. So that way you have to pay to promote to all your people. They figure if you're trying to make money on your stuff and use them to promote, you owe them some money. And that's fair. Like these social media companies, they provide a lot for people to get their music out there and get anything out there, their art.
Yep.
So the point being though, what was I saying as far as you text your friends? Like word of mouth.
Personal engagement is important.
Word of mouth, and don't
spam them though.
Yeah, don't spam them. Just hit them up and
Nobody
say, hey,
likes that.
You like checking out my new song came out today, and then be like, oh sweet, I didn't even know. Thanks, man.
Yeah, perfect.
And then
most people don't know.
Exactly. That's what my point being is that you'd be surprised when you start doing that. It's like how many people didn't even see it on social media.
And that ties back in with don't think you're being like a snake oil salesman. Like
Right.
all you're doing is letting people know what's going
There's
on.
nothing wrong with that. It feels
You're not
weird
forcing
at first.
them. You're not doing
It feels
anything.
weird at first, but you have to tell people or they won't know. So, anyways, release and tell all your friends.
Don't think you're the cool hipster just because you don't ever tell anyone about your shit.
And then
you know?
tell them to tell their friends. If they like it, tell them to tell their friends. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you just got to remind people that, hey, I'm trying to get the word out, and I can't get it out unless you help me. I need more people to spread it around, you know?
Yep.
So there's nothing wrong with that. People feel happy to do that for you.
So what about post-release?
So post-release, I think you should follow up like a week later, you know, a month later, like follow up and it's like our song's still out there. Also, I'm trying to ramp up on post-releases by following it up with a video. So we did our first single release. Then a week later, we released the video for the first song. Now we got our second single release. Next Friday, we're going to release the video for the second single. And then, and, you know, we're changing it up on how we do the videos. The first one was a live video. Second one's a more cinematic type video that I made myself with my iPhone. We talked about that at episode like 55, I think, or something.
I remember that on Paul's Couch.
Yep, and we talked about the
Paul's Couch sessions.
Yeah.
The mid to late 50s.
Those are good. And the and the stabilizer I bought to do it all. And I felt really good about it. We dressed the room up real nice. We did it all up, and the footage looks really awesome. It's going to be out Friday. So that's another way to make a video afterwards. Then we're making an animated video.
That'd be cool.
That I'm going to do on my iPad and see how it comes out. If it doesn't turn out good, maybe it'll turn into a lyric video. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But
lyric video with a stick figure.
Yeah. So I'm looking into right now, actually trying to get it into video software. So that way you can kind of always follow up your musical release with a video, a simple video, but simple is effective, you know, sometimes. They don't all have to be blown out and spend, thousands of dollars on, but
yeah. And you're the king of this, and I try to be the king of this as well. The being well-rounded in an indie world.
You are, Dallas. You are definitely. You're not giving yourself enough credit. Doing so many different things, being able to do things yourself will save you so much money.
Money is the biggest thing. So there's two ways you can do this.
You have to use your money for the things you need, the things you cannot do by yourself. Like that's where you have to put your money.
Right. There's two ways you can do it. You can hire people, or you can do it yourself.
Exactly.
Those are your two options, right?
You have to choose what you do good or well.
And here's something I would say: always be learning. You know, I was very young, hanging out with my buddy Daniel Kyer, and he was really good at Photoshop.
Right.
And we started a little, recording project, and I was like, we came up with the band name, and he was like, let me make something real quick. While I'm sitting there, he does this cool looking logo in Photoshop. Right. And I realized at that moment, I was like, this is a powerful skill. Like he just did this right now.
Right.
If I can do that, then any idea I have, I can now make look really cool.
And how many of those are you going to need throughout your music?
Dude, I have used Photoshop so much.
Every time you do a promotion, anytime you do a flyer, anytime you do art for your covers and stuff like that, you're always going to need that skill. And maybe it's just to touch up something that you already paid an artist to do or something, or you just need to crop it or do some weird stuff to it. It's just being able to do that stuff.
But get this, you can do even cooler stuff now with things like Canva.
Totally, dude.
Canva is way more powerful than I thought.
Right.
This is how powerful Canva is. I designed our and I use it because I can do it in Photoshop, but it's way faster in Canva because they give you things to start with.
It's quick.
It's got a cute border.
It's
got a nice photo.
Yeah.
The fonts are already made to match, like shit like that. You can do it in Photoshop. It just takes longer.
Sure.
So I don't have that kind of time. I just want to get it done.
Basic to post on Instagram really quick. That's amazing.
It's really good for that.
Do our stories like that.
So what I did is I made our cards, our postcards that we send out to new patrons.
Right.
And as I was making it, I was like, okay, now I got to find a place to get these printed. Up pops Canva and goes, do you want to print these? And I was like, yeah.
Done.
And I was like, depends on how expensive they are. I bet that's pretty expensive.
Smart
It's the
marketing.
cheapest price
They
I've ever
nailed
seen,
it.
dude.
They nailed it. Then that's
We got
perfect.
50 of them for like, I think it was like $8 or something.
Perfect,
like
dude.
it was like anywhere else I would have looked would have been at least 15, 20.
Perfect. I think our fans will appreciate that. You know,
Yeah.
that's really cool. That's
And
really
like,
awesome.
I mean, and we printed, I printed business cards for the LA Maybe, same exact thing.
Nice.
So like it's
Playroom's
like,
got business cards coming too. By the way, we're getting everybody who works at the Playroom's going to get a business card.
that's funny.
That's cool.
That's a subtle.
They're really bringing it up a notch over there. You know what I mean? They got a lot of cool things in the works, and I'm really happy that they are taking a more proactive role in bands that are at the Playroom, because if they like where they're at, you know, bands at the Playroom like where they're at, they're going to be more interested in telling people about it and how awesome it is to be there, you know?
Mhm.
And they're making videos right now. They're doing like promotional videos they're going to put out for each band and also advertising the Playroom. But, you know,
Very nice.
good. It's a good thing, you know, and when the LA Maybe's practicing,
Yeah, right.
get a little peek inside there maybe.
So if you guys take one thing away, it's the importance of being well-rounded, I would say.
Right.
And don't think like, oh, I'm not well-rounded. No, be well-rounded, because I
right.
wasn't either, but I decided
Become-
I was going to get good at Photoshop. I was going to learn how to do videos. I was going to learn how to take a good picture. I was going to learn how to edit that picture to make it look like a day to remember or
Recording
whatever.
your own
You know,
music.
like,
Think about how far you've come, like with just recording your own music. Like the longer you stay in something like that too, the better you get at it. So
and I'm lucky that I started early, because I started playing guitar at 12. I started doing all this other shit at probably 15.
that's perfect, dude.
So just about the time I kind of knew some chords and some scales, I hit record.
Yeah.
And I started playing to click tracks, and I started,
and most people can do that nowadays with smartphones. Almost everybody who has an iPhone has GarageBand on their phone, and they can record little ideas and clips, and you can learn just at least how to play to a click, how to what the grid looks like, how to stack tracks, layer tracks. That's super important. Like they used to use cassette tapes with dual cassette tape recorder basically, and they would record one idea, and then would hit play, and then would go over to the other one and record the new idea on top of that old idea, and then they would just go back and forth from
almost
tape
like a
to tape.
looper, right?
Exactly. And that was the old way to do it. Now you have an iPhone with GarageBand, and there's so many different features and stuff you can do on there.
And
digital instruments, virtual instruments.
Think about tools like Canva, like we were talking about. Like, don't think you have to become an expert graphic designer. Find a tool that will be the expert.
Exactly.
And even if you have to pay a couple bucks here and there,
it's worth it.
It's better than paying, a $80 an hour graphic designer, or, now granted, their work's going to be better.
Right. So on the reviews, on the apps and stuff like that, you're looking for like to make your life easier, basically. Check out the reviews, make sure the thing works. Like there's a lot of stuff I've downloaded, and granted, most of it was free, and I just downloaded to check it out. It like gets glitchy and it crashes, and try not to, gear yourself towards an app like that. They're so good. Like Canva is an amazing app. There's some really good ones out there.
Canva's really good.
Dude.
It's more powerful on a desktop. Wordle, spell it
spread
for
the
everybody.
word about it. Yeah. WERBLE.
This app blew your mind, and then you told me about it, and it blew my mind.
Yeah.
This app is so powerful. It takes a photo and basically turns it into a video by adding like animations and shit.
And several different formats of video. You can go GIF, or you can actually go to like 30-second, 60-second videos.
Nice.
So however you want it to be.
So, I mean, video we know is king. So if you want to post your logo on Instagram, why not drop it in Warble? Give it a cool, flowers blowing in the wind effect.
Sure.
And then you post it, and it looks great.
And then you can choose your still on Instagram, stuff like that. So you still have your photo that if people don't hit play, you can choose that cover still.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, if you pay attention to that when you're uploading a video.
I never knew that.
Yeah, and that's why like some of our videos on Music Talk Show start out black.
Right, because that's
use
the first frame. Yeah.
You can actually click on the bottom when you're uploading the video, and it gives you options for filters and stuff. That on the bottom right, it says cover. And you can move the thing and put it right over the still you want it to be.
That's smart.
So that's really good for when you...
I should have done that for that Steel Panther post, because we spent like 20 minutes last week trying to find it.
Right, exactly.
I started it black because it was a fade in.
Yeah, and I noticed a lot of videos like are hard to find when they're black. So it's good to have like a good cover on it.
Yeah, definitely. So
Warble.
We've covered a lot of stuff.
That was a long episode.
Look up, and Matt, you're really good about this. You're good at looking up tools to do jobs that you need done. And you end up finding weird tools like Warble and shit.
Yeah, I'm getting better at it. And you could take those video clips, little animated video clips on Warble, put them all together, and make a whole video. You know what I mean? I think I'm going to try and do that. Like, I really think that's how I'm going to do the Love Lies video. A lot of animated, like, still stuff, and just mixed on top of each other and layered. And
yeah.
So what I really need to do is like a Final Cut Pro program, but I'm not sure if Kyle's computer can handle it.
Yeah.
I think the band needs an iMac. You know what I mean? They're so powerful.
Well, you can get a MacBook Pro for cheaper, and it would do your job.
I've had problems with mine burning up so fast.
You're just kind of old, though. Because I use mine for everything. It still runs like a champ, but the screen's broken.
Yeah, mine's newer than Kyle's, and it just won't stay on. It keeps crashing. I think the CPU is just trashed. Something.
Yeah, I would just get a new one. Or you might be able to replace the hard drive in that one or something.
I don't know. I feel like a desktop would be better for me now at this point because I don't really need the laptop as much, you know?
Yeah, because you have the iPad.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll figure it out.
One of my graphic design teachers in college, his theory was laptops were going to become obsolete within like the next 10 years or so.
Really? Because
now we're already like 5 into that, but
why does he think
just because you're going to get a desktop and you're going to have an iPad and you don't need a laptop.
Yeah, I see.
Like
yeah.
you just said, you're the reason. You know?
Right, but I didn't realize that you were saying that the iPad was taken over. I see his point. For sure, the iPads are so powerful now. I mean, I do so much editing on them and so much, you know, it's crazy. I'm so glad to have one. And I got, like I always say this too, like I got it as a deal on top of my phone bill. So I end up paying like another $30 a month, but I got an iPad. I'm paying off an iPad. That's
I have the
that's a deal, man.
I have,
the data too.
I have the big iPad. It doesn't have data, but we use it as a TV in our bedroom.
Right.
So I'm thinking about doing the add-on thing and adding like an iPad mini.
Right.
So I don't have to carry around this beast. I can actually have like a nice one that I can hold.
Right.
And I want to get data on it.
As far as like a bedroom and like bedroom TV, dude, you can get like for $80, you can get like a fucking, I don't even know how big it would be. It'd be like 30-inch TV. Or
but
something.
We mount this thing on our bed so we can lay back and look at it.
Right. So
it's pretty dope.
there. Yeah. Yeah.
And then also I can pull it down and do other shit with it.
Sure.
It's not just like a TV because we have TV.
But yeah, and you can do but an Apple TV and you can push everything from like your phone to
yeah.
TV.
That's good.
That's the best way to do it. So that's what we're doing. I'm getting ready to move into the other house, whatever. I have to reset up all my stuff.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm going to keep that Echo Dot now.
Okay, cool.
Because I think I need it. Yeah.
Nice.
Because now I always forgot that Dan's thing was the one we used.
You were talking about like it being a bad speaker and stuff, and that's fine. I mostly want it for home automation stuff.
Right.
Like checking in on other rooms. Like if someone's down in the kitchen, I can check onto them.
The nice thing about it being a bad speaker is not that big of a deal because they have an auxiliary out on it. So you just literally plug that into your home stereo system. You can talk to Alexa and everything works through the stereo. She talks to you back through the stereo. It's killer. I love that. Like that's the way.
A couple of my students have the little tower ones, and they sound good.
Yeah, they sound fine as long as they have some height to them. With a really flat dot, they don't. I don't know what it is. It's just not enough there. It just sounds tinny.
I have a little Bluetooth speaker in the bathroom that I play when I'm in the shower, and that thing sounds good.
That's nice.
It wasn't expensive. It was like $60.
Is it waterproof? Or is it?
It's not in the shower. Like
they have those waterproof ones that suction cup to the wall.
Yeah, I don't have one of those.
I want one. I would fucking utilize.
Yeah, I love turning on the podcast in the shower, but I can't hear it over the water.
Right.
So I gotta boost it just a little bit.
Same thing with music. Even like my some speakers aren't loud enough. Like iPad's not loud enough. My phone's not loud enough. But if you get a little Bluetooth speaker, it work good.
This one's called Oonts.
Yeah. How many different ones are they gonna make, man?
I just went on Amazon and wrote Bluetooth speaker, and it was like 1 million 5-star reviews. I was like, done. Whatever. It was like $50 or whatever.
Nice. Done. It's just crazy that there's so many brands popping up.
It's crazy that the Echoes are so cheap.
Yep.
Those Echo Dots are like 2 for like $70.
They want to get you they want to get you integrated in the Amazon family.
Yeah.
They want to get you buying everything off Amazon. You know, all that stuff.
You can tell Alexa, I was listening to the CD Baby podcast and they were talking about Alexa.
Okay.
And Kevin on the podcast said, you could say something like, Alexa, order more toilet paper. Blah,
and
blah, blah, blah.
Actually did?
And no, she didn't. But someone was listening to the podcast and then Alexa heard it and ordered more toilet paper, like right on the spot, like buy now, 1 click kind of thing.
That's
and he was like, damn it.
That was Joe Rogan talking about Siri too. He was like, when he first found out that you could just say, hey Siri, and she'll like listen to you.
Oh yeah.
And then he did that, and everybody in the world listened to the podcast, got their phone lights up.
That's funny.
Yeah. So he said he got a lot.
Unless you're listening to it on your phone, like me.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't
so there's
light up.
Definitely some people, but like I guess people listen to it in their car or wherever, however they're listening to it.
That's a good point. My my most requested Siri thing, I say, hey Siri, play podcast.
Mm-hmm.
All the time.
She does it well.
And I do it like I'll be getting into the car, like buckling up, and I'll just say it as I'm getting ready. And like as soon as I'm ready, it's playing. Like I'm like, yes.
That's fighter
so
pilot
smooth,
style.
dude.
I like that.
So smooth.
Cool.
Man, let's wrap this thing up. We killed it today. I feel good about this podcast, and I hope a lot of people get a lot of good info out of this.
Yeah. Don't forget to sign up for our Patreon and get your free T-shirt while that promotion's going on right now.
Through April, last day of April.
Yeah.
30th, I guess.
Yep.
So
go get it.
Get that $2 T-shirt. It's not worth $2. We're losing money on this. We just want you guys in on Patreon and being a part of this community because we have such a cool thing going on.
Absolutely. We want to get more people a part of it.
We're excited.
More participation.
So we're happy to buy you guys a T-shirt in return for you joining us on our quest for world domination.
Let's get cracking on this concept album, Dallas.
Yep. We're about to hang up here and get some work done.
It's gonna be fun.
See you guys next week.
See you.